Amy, can you please give me tips on how to study many subjects? Do a video on how to study for many subjects. Do you have tips to study for many subjects? Please make a video about how to study on how to study for many subjects. Multiple subjects. In high school, my English teacher refused to sign off on my class selection for the next year. That's because not only was I asking to take so many classes, but every single one of them was a weighted 5.0 GPA out of 4. I was literally maxing out the difficulty of my course schedule, and she was scared for me. However, I was so confident that I could handle it that I convinced her. She handed my class proposal back to me with a sticky note saying, "You're crazy, Amy." And guess what? I didn't regret my decision. Instead, I aced every single class while maintaining my sleep schedule of an average of 8 hours per night while still playing varsity sports. So how did I study so many subjects at once? That's what you'll find out today. Whew, didn't know I could apparate, huh? Well, did you also know that I'm an Olympic level ping pong star? No, I'm not nearly as cool as that Amy Wang, but I do have the best team, the A team, which you are a part of if you watch my channel. That's because my videos teach you how to get A's the cool way with holistic mindsets and habits that serve you beyond school. If you're committed to excelling in all of your many classes while stressing less, then turn this video on full screen mode and prepare to lock in. If you listen to the last tip, you've got what it takes. Let's go. You're gonna love this first one. I assume you don't want to study for entire days on end. I certainly did not want to study for a full day. Guess what? You shouldn't. I rarely had days where I spent the whole chunk of my waking hours studying. That's because I wanted to watch a K-drama with my sister, or in college, I wanted to visit Hollywood with my friends. When I had something to look forward to every weekend or after school, I was even more efficient and motivated to work. That's because I wasn't hating life. When you're happier, you're more productive. Even if you feel like you need to study for a whole day to handle all of your many classes, plan a nice walk or dinner for quality time with your loved ones, and I promise the hour you squeeze out will be worth it. People brag online like, "Oh, how I studied 12 hours in a row, and here's how you can do it too," as if there's an award for running yourself into the ground or something. They make it feel like you're doing something wrong if you're not studying all day. But if I was studying happily and sustainably while getting top grades, I had to be doing something right, breaking up my days with fun in between. The coolest way to get A's isn't to study 24/7 because ironically, that wouldn't be very smart. But you know who is smart? Lazy people. The laziest people are the smartest people. Think about the dishwasher. If someone wasn't lazy enough to be like,
"Ew, I don't want to wash the dishes by hand,"
then we probably wouldn't have this amazing invention today. So I think of lazy as the following. When faced with a difficult situation, try to work smarter before working harder. So find shortcuts. AP government sophomore year was so tedious and really hard. We had to fill out gigantic packets of information for homework every single week. These packets were literally 20 pages thick as my eyeball. And if you're doing so many classes, one tedious, time-consuming class can drag everything else down. So I took that packet, I went to lovely Google and typed out one of the questions in the exact wording. Oh my gosh, guess what happened? I found Quizlets with the exact questions from the packets with the answers in full, complete explanations. Now, no, this is not cheating because I still would have had to dig through the textbook to end up getting the exact same answers. It's not like I was getting greater understanding from searching the answers myself rather than just using Quizlet. If a shortcut gives you the same result and the same learning you gain from it, then don't reinvent the wheel. Cut your losses. Maybe you like making presentations pretty. But if it's going to be time consuming, it's not worth it because it's no longer going to be fun when it's sucking time away from your other classes. So think, how can I be the laziest possible while still getting the same results? When you go to the gym, do you think you're gonna be able to do 100 sets of bicep curls, 50 sets of squats? No, because at one point, when you try to overload yourself, you get diminishing returns. The same thing with studying. So don't overload your brain. This means don't do all of your memorization subjects in one day. When I tried to memorize history facts and biology terms in the same study session, eventually my brain felt like it was going to explode and it couldn't retain a single new piece of information I tried to shove in there. Your brain physically cannot encode that much at once. However, please note that problem-solving classes are okay to do in a day or a study session. In high school and at Caltech, my class schedule was filled with 80 to 90% science and math classes, and I found that actually by studying them together, I could make connections between math and physics, for example, and still learn effectively. When you have too many classes, it's really easy to let one assignment slip through the cracks, and that can make a big difference to your grade. That is why I use a tracker. In addition to the usual days of the week in my planner, I would draw my own grid system for each week. I would have a blue and green section for blue and green days because my school was on a block schedule. For each of my blue and green days, I had 4 classes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not kidding. My makeshift grid on my planner was actually as messy and freestyle like this. Next, I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 7 days a week. At the top, as I'm going about each day, I would check off whether each class's to-dos were done. For example, if I am on Monday and I've already done everything I need for class 1 on blue days and I didn't have anything for class 2, I finished my class 3 things, blah, 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 then I would check them all off. This way, even if I didn't write an assignment down in the regular planner section, I would ensure that every single class is captured. So next on Tuesday, as I'm doing my work, okay, I did blue 2, then I did green 1. Okay, I didn't have any work for green 2, blah, 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 until for every single day, I make sure that the entire column has full check marks. Systems like these trackers are the core of time management. That's why I also recommend this specific class on Skillshare called Productivity and Time Management Strategies for Goal Setting and Eliminating Distractions. That title literally sounds like it was made for us, right? Thanks so much, Skillshare, for sponsoring this portion of the video. If you don't know, they're an online learning community where experts from various industries teach you art, entrepreneurship, productivity, and more. Common questions students have when handling so many things is, where do I start? How do I even do this daunting task? Patrick Dang shares how to create the snowball effect so progress becomes easier and easier once you take your tasks bird by bird, making it less stressful. And having many classes makes prioritization even more important. Dang! Patrick Dang also teaches you how to prioritize and set SMART goals with his worksheet. I especially like how he calls all of this together a productivity machine because being productive should feel easier and almost automatic if you're using the right mindsets and habits. You can never learn too much about how to organize your ideal life, so I've been going through Patrick's sections and I really enjoy learning in a more structured way than perhaps random videos on YouTube. And lucky you, because you can actually listen to his class for free because the first 500 people can get a free 1 month of Skillshare Premium with a link in my description. As a private tutor, I've seen how students make the mistake of putting an equal amount of effort on all subjects and all concepts. Instead, you should adapt by weight and difficulty. Like I share in this video about how to cram effectively, you should spend the most time firstly on items that will give you the most points on assignments and tests. You can find out which concepts have the highest weight by looking in your syllabus or explicitly asking your teacher. Never be afraid to talk to your teacher. Next, you prioritize by difficulty. Review the classes or concepts that you struggle the most with. Resist the temptation to always look back at what you already understand. I know it feels great, and you get a dopamine hit when you review that page again that you already know because, wow, you feel so smart. But it's better to feel dumb now and review what you don't know than feel dumb on the test. Imagine tackling one class as sawing down a tree. Well, it would be very helpful if your saw was sharp, right? Then if you spend time sharpening the saw, you can saw down your trees even faster. So what happens when you have many classes? Well, you're gonna have to saw down a whole heck of a lot of trees. So it's even more important that you sharpen the saw. How do you do this? Being healthy is not optional. I repeat, being healthy is not optional. That's why even when I had a lot of classes or extracurriculars, working out, taking supplements, eating veggies and protein at every meal, these are all non-negotiables. Your body, your physical and mental state are all parts of the saw you need in order to tackle each of your classes. It's well worth the time and effort to sharpen your saw because that's going to save you time and effort when you're actually sawing down the trees. Why do I always say I sleep an average of 8 hours a night? I don't sleep enough just because I'm efficient at studying. I'm efficient at studying because I sleep enough. Mic drop. The golden mindset. Here we go. Go back to the basics.
Oh, ew, that's boring. What? What do you even mean?
See, that's the thing. The basics that everyone has heard hundreds of times before are boring. But the boring tips are what work. That's why every single person says the same thing. Basics are do active recall, ask for help, take care of your body, and many more that I just don't have the time for to list all of them in this video. Stop looking for that magical new tip. With the time you're spending watching new videos, you could have made a lot more progress by following basic, boring advice. This is cool, okay? Listen to this. When you watch any one of my videos, even if it doesn't say explicitly, this is how you handle many subjects, all of my advice will help you handle many different subjects. That's because this is the core of all of my advice, to handle things efficiently, effectively, and sustainably. Since I took the hardest classes each year of high school and studied chemical engineering at one of the hardest schools in the world, naturally all of my advice helps you excel in tough, stressful situations. That's why I tell you my background in the intros. I've made videos on how to study efficiently, how to take notes quickly, and time management. Yet people still specifically want a video titled How to Handle Many Subjects. But have you used every single efficient studying technique for an individual class? Because if you cut down the study time for each class, it's automatically going to be easier to study for more classes. You will be amazed that if you follow my note-taking advice of annotating, it will automatically be easier to study for many different tests on the same day. If you use my digital planner, you will automatically be making a cheat sheet study guide for each of your classes. We have to be thoughtful and holistically make connections between different problems in our lives. The same good habits are solutions to multiple problems you're having. Each little habit makes a difference. You may not think that efficient note-taking is relevant to handling many subjects because, well, I didn't explicitly say that, but of course it will help you. The magic behind basic advice isn't how magical the tips actually are, but it's in how much you actually convert them. You determine how magical the advice is. If you're here, congrats, you got through my big preaching session. Didn't have one of those in a while. You have also got what it takes, so comment I like the swoosh because you're already so smart and you know what you have to do, so just do it. By commenting this, we confuse the people who just half-butted this video and went down to the comments. Then they will feel like they missed out on some team bonding. But let's be real, you do miss out if you skip some parts of my video, because why would I leave them in if I didn't think they were helpful in some way? Good job! Remember, you can hone your time management skills in a structured way with Skillshare, as well as learn about many different things like art, design, entrepreneurship. The first 500 people who use my link can try it for free. I also want to say thank you so much to you for giving me opportunities to work with helpful resources like Skillshare. Partnerships like these truly make it possible for me to continue putting in so much effort and make these videos for you. So thank you very much. Great job. See you next time, A-Team. Peace. Sorry, flowers. Balance. Surprise face. Ooh, look at that, look at that. Okay, just kidding. Uno más. Uno más. No longer I do this, the fake red looks. I feel it slipping. I feel it coming. Recently, I've been journaling a lot. I think what I really realized is I am an extroverted person and I love knowing that people are grinding alongside me, which is probably why, even though work was so hard and difficult at Caltech, that I didn't feel this uneasiness that I do right now. Another source of my maelstrom of emotions inside is I recently visited the Harvard Business School campus and it's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I might have just set myself up for major disappointment. I can totally see myself going there. I took a photo with a sign. That might have been another mistake, but I'm just trying to manifest here. Yeah, it makes me worried because I'm getting my hopes up, and the higher your hopes, the farther you fall. But I'm also thinking I want to try even harder, but how do I do that? And it's like, life has not been dealing me such easy cards recently. Mentally, I'm not as strong as I used to be. I feel like I should be able to handle all of this, and I'm trying really hard. So I just have to trust myself that at the end of the day, I'm still going to submit a product that I feel like is 110% up to my standards. If my written application is good and I pass on to the next stage of actually getting an interview, when I think about that, I have PTSD from my mock interview with Sandy, the only HBS version interview I had. That was a few years ago, and I actually had a migraine right before that started. Oh my gosh, it went so bad. So there, my embarrassment lives on the internet forever. Applying to something is so stressful, but I also don't want it to be stressful because I know that the actual result has many things outside of my control. Even so, now I'm just gonna share, some stats. For HBS, the acceptance rate is around 12%. The average GPA is a 3.73, a median GMAT score of 740. I have a 4.0 in chemical engineering from Caltech, and I got a GMAT score of 760. Another fun fact, during that virtual GMAT test taking, I actually had 3 technical difficulties. It was so stressful and disrupted my flow of taking the test, but we still made it through miraculously. So theoretically, I should be in pretty good shape when it comes to stats. That also puts even more pressure on myself. Like, I have to be so perfect to not botch my application. HBS, along with Stanford GSB, are the 2 hardest MBA programs to apply to. HBS especially because they look really closely at your short answer questions, just as closely as the essay. And they're gonna grill you, ask you very deep questions on the interview. Even though I have all these emotions, the only thing I can do is to continue going and adjust my state of mind by going to the gym, meditating, doing what I can do. Because, it's just a push I'm gonna have to do, and when it's over, I'm gonna be so grateful. The only thing I would regret after the deadline is if I didn't give my all. I feel like I end all of these mini vlogs like this. Let's go. Confidence, sugar and spice. What that means, make you feel way better. Your dreams, I think.